Okay, so today I'm started working on sort of like a pathfinding script. So sort of similar to your general compass that you would have on screen, where it would sort of point you in the general direction. This one actually tries to find the path for you. So, rather than like, for instance, I know my target is behind this wall here, so rather than having just an arrow on screen that points into the wall, this one actually tries to find a path around any obstacles in the way. So I built myself a tiny maze, and you'll see if I look this way, there's an arrow sort of pointing in this direction, so if I follow the arrow, it will sort of lead me around the maze. Yep, we go in here. We're just going to keep following this. So you can basically just completely ignore the maze at the current time because I'm just going to follow the arrow. It will lead me to where I need to go. So obviously it's a very simple maze, but it doesn't really matter how complicated it is as long as there's a valid path. It will find its way out. So you can see I've got multiple directions here, but it knows it wants to go this way, so we're going to follow it around here. We get around the corner, and then we find this little guy here, which is where we were headed. And the little way of grass there is actually where it's set to be finding. And he's lost his head. Just ignore that. So yeah, it's very simple. You can change how fast it travels with the speed here. You can adjust how quickly it will return. If it's a longer journey, you can change it in the script to come back sooner or later, depending on how fast you want it to go and stuff like that as well. It can sort of just tweak it a bit to suit. Obviously, you can use your own model if you don't want to use this sort of randomly floating default here. You can use whatever, it doesn't really make any difference. The only thing is it does need to be set as a character in Game Gear, otherwise it won't be able to do any pathfinding. So, as I say, you can make it move faster or slower. Doesn't really make an awful lot of difference, but just could make it slightly easier or slower to find. Follow. Obviously, if you're running a lot in your game, you're probably going to want it to be moving faster. And likewise, if your game character moves a lot slower, you probably want it to be moving slower and stuff. And obviously, it's just going to find the same path. So it's not set to just like a one-time use sort of thing. You can basically just keep changing the current objective to whatever. And that's very easy to do, depending on what you want it to do. So for instance, maybe your character is going to find a locked door and you want it to point towards a key, so all you have to do in that case is when you get to the door, just put current objective equals and then just put the entity number of the key itself. So say you've put down a key at like entity 3 or something, you just put that down here. We could do that really quick actually, just as an example of how it works. So I don't know, we use this axe as a point of reference. So we'll put that down here. Maybe we got a door in this section here anyway. We've got a window, that'll do. Oops. Okay. So we're just going to do something similar. So what number is this? 155 apparently. So rather than this, we're just going to say, I'm cheating a little bit, but basically, as I say, you can just do, that's a really simple script on a door that says if you're within a range, press the button to unlock the door. I think it might be a bit faster for my current character, but it should be fine. So we've just very simply changed where we're going with one line. All you have to do is just set that current objective equals to wherever. So you can do that multiple times during the game as well. For instance, if you have like a quest chain that you want to go to, you can do that each time you complete a different part of the quest. You can just change the current objective each time. So you can see we're no longer going to the grass, we're going around the corner here, and there's the supposed key on the floor here. And obviously once you reach here, you can just set the current objective to nil, or if you don't have another one to go to right away, you can just set it to nil and then the area will disappear, of course, rather than it sort of dancing on the spot. But yeah, that's as simple as it is, just to change the actual objective each time. And as I say, you can do that during the game. Just get a script that says once you reach a certain distance, or once you pick up the key, change the current objective to wherever is the next objective. So for instance, you could change it back to that door, and then you could follow the route back to the door quite easily.